great moments are born from great opportunity. And that's what we have here tonight, Evan. The United States versus Canada for the first time in 15 years. And I think the United States is going to win in a blowout, to be honest with you.
And why do you say that?
Because we can shut them down because we can. Because Connor Hellebuyck tonight is going to make a statement. And he's going to be arguably the greatest hockey goalie in the world after this game.
Damn.
Alrighty, folks. Welcome back. We have a great game hosting tonight. We'll be live for it, so this will be obviously posted live. But we hope you all enjoyed that live stream. Hopefully, the United States pulls out with a win, and Connor Hellebuyck cements himself as one of the greatest goalies of all time. But before we get into all of that, along with some NBA action, college basketball is kind of getting into the thick of it. We have some football drama to talk about. Before we get to all that, we're going to be talking to our main man on the bets. Welcome, Patrick Carricker, ladies and gentlemen. Pat.
Guys, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. Welcome back. Welcome back, man. You've had a little hiatus. Tell me, how's the record going, and what do you got for me tonight for as far as the United States and Canada? How should I bet it?
Yeah, so me and Josh have done pretty well so far. We're taking a little break right now. It's been hard to have consistent bets. We're working on a new format to be able to pump out some quicker bets. But currently, we are 29-12 combined, coming in at just over 70% as our winning record. So I'd say we're doing pretty good.
New year, new bets.
Yeah, definitely. Now, what do you got for me tonight, man? As far as the United States and Canada, how should I bet it? Should I attack the United States money line, or should I go with the over-under? What's your diagnosis?
Yeah, I got a couple different bets here. Obviously, recording this in America, Canada booed our national anthem, so we're going to bet American money line. We're going to go.
Definitely.
That's one of our straight bets. America just to win. Personally, I think it could be a very close game. Canada's coming off a lot of rage after the last game, how that went. Biz Nasty
Definitely,
called
and
it.
I mean we see.
We've
seen throughout this, tournament here that the hits are up even too, so it's very physical. I think tonight's gonna be physical. You're talking about the money line there. Sorry for cutting you off.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say that Biz Nasty over at Barstool has said that Canada will have to declare a national state of emergency if America wins. So I'm excited to see that happen. Awesome. Our 51st state going crazy after we beat them. But I unfortunately think it's going to be a close game. I think America will win. So on top of the money line, the parlay that we're going to be hitting tonight is American money line minus 110. Then we're going to be hitting America plus 2.5 goals, and then the over at 5.5. I think there will be 6 goals scored, and I think in order for America to win and that happen, they have to get over 2.5. So that all combined turns it into plus 260, which are some good odds for America to win. And I truly think it might be a high-scoring, close game. I think you have the likes of Dylan Larkin. I think he could easily get another goal. If you can find a line on that, down here in Florida, we can't bet on individual player props. But if you can find a line, I would bet all my money on Dylan Larkin to score a point tonight. Maybe not score a goal, but he will have a point. And those are my bets for the 4 nations.
I like it. That is what is up. I like it, especially the Dylan Larkin point line. I think, he's been clutch for the United States. That game-winning goal versus Canada in their last matchup, it should be a good one. Evan, what do you think of the bets so far?
I would agree. Also, to that point, we also do have another very big game this weekend, Michigan State. What do you have to say for that?
Oh, it's going to be a very close game. But you saw what Michigan did to number 7 Purdue, right?
Yeah, but we also saw what happened to Michigan State and Purdue. Okay.
Michigan is going to blow the brakes off Michigan State.
I know, but
Connor Wolf's going to hit him with a step back dagger for the win.
Cohen Carr is going to swat him.
Dude, what are you on? Like that?
I mean, it's going to be a good game. Evidently, like both Michigan State are playing for something that's bigger than themselves. They're playing for immortality in the national championship right now.
But the team has scored over 90 points all year, other than Michigan playing Youngstown State and winning by at least 60.
I mean, and that's one of the things there is that, like, I like the confidence, but what do you got for as far as the bets, individual spreads, and whatnot?
For my last pick of the weekend, we have a classic matchup. Michigan State at Chrysler Arena. Not only is the state of the Big Ten potentially on the line with every game mattering, it's going to come down to every single game in the Big Ten schedule. Who can eke out these close games? Michigan, minus 3.5-point favorite at home. It's one of those games that we know the home team is going to be favored. But it is also not a trap game for Michigan because the spread is plus 3.5. And if you've been watching our podcast, you know the data on road dogs at plus 2.5 win at about an 80% clip. So that plus 3.5 means that the insiders think that Michigan truly does have not only just the home court edge, but the edge in actually winning. In the last 10 games, they're only 4-6 against the spread. That's why I think the play is Michigan money line. It might be a 1 or 2 point game. It could easily be, like I was saying, Connor Wolf step back 3 to win the game when they're down by 1. I'm seeing a very close game coming down to the wire. I'm betting Michigan money line.
Awesome. To your point, if it's a road dog, isn't Michigan State on the road?
Yeah, no, but it's not plus 2.5. So road dogs on the road plus 2.5 win at about an 80% clip. It's kind of a trap game. It's one of those things that they give the home team the advantage, but typically when it's plus 2.5, it is a stronger opponent going on the road. And those teams in the modern era of college basketball, going on the road isn't as a big deal anymore. They have so much rest. They have so much ability to travel in the team plane, get all of the doctors, all massaged up, everything. So it truly is, since it's plus 3.5, that really makes me believe that they think Michigan is going to win. And I'm very confident in Michigan. Dusty May, getting the boys settled in, beating Tom Izzo, establishing some dominance in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I love it. All right, well, those are two great bets of the weekend. We have a lot more to talk about. Pat, I want to thank you so much for joining the show today from sunny Florida. We're all very jealous, all the people here stuck in snowy Michigan. It's currently snowing outside, and I see it's a beautiful sunny day. I think you were saying it was 70 degrees out. You lucky bastard. All right, have a good weekend. Catch some fish. I'll talk to you later, man.
Take care. Go blue and go America, baby. USA.
Indeed.
USA.
Well, it's good to hear from Pat, man.
Where has he been?
A mission trip. Now he's in Florida with his girlfriend and family. I mean, good for him. He's taking a vacation. He needs it. He's been working hard. Our bets team has been doing great. They've been betting and being successful at it. They're beating the house pretty successfully, which is awesome.
Indeed it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as Pat was talking about tonight, we have a big matchup in the United States versus Canada. Now, as the tournament has gone along, I think these two teams were the clear favorites going into this, and they're matching up now. But in both of their last games, the United States faltered a little bit and dropped a game to Sweden. What do you think happened in that game that the United States lost the game that they really shouldn't have?
I mean, it was a loss, but at the same time, you have to realize that the U.S. already had made the tournament, made the finals, so... Okay. Honestly, if you play your starters, you run the risk of someone getting injured. I mean, we look at it right now. I mean, the U.S. is, 3 of their defensive pairings are hurt right now, and they had to bring in emergency guys. I mean, Canada the same way. I mean, you don't want to risk injury or sickness or whatever it may be just so they can play, and then say you do make the final, you're looking at a depleted roster, which might not be 100%, which might in turn you lose the game.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that you look at like a United States team. Now they're reloading. They had a Jake. I'm gonna butcher his last name.
Gensel?
No,
the goalie.
Yeah,
Ottinger.
Ottinger. Thank you. God, I am terrible with names, especially of hockey players.
The reason, his goalie mask has otters on it.
That's a cool stat. That's a cool fact. You said it was we lost to Sweden. The reason we lost to Sweden was because we didn't play our starters. But when we played our starters versus Canada, some key guys came up to play, and one being Dylan Larkin. I told everyone that he was a sleeper pick for an X Factor, and I really do think he showed his stuff. He got 2 points in that game, along with a Jake Gensel from the United States. And then my thing with this game is that it's going to be physical. We've seen it throughout the entirety of this quote-unquote all-star break, is that these teams fucking hate each other. And it's interesting, because usually these guys are kind of like nonchalant about it, but this is like, they're going out for blood. Each individual team is going out for blood. It's exciting to see kind of what this game is turning into and what this all-star break is comparatively to the NBA. Because, you talk about an NBA, everyone was upset with the all-star break, but we'll get more into depth with that later in the show as we're talking about, the all-star break, the Battle of Four tournaments. Evan, have you loved this tournament so far?
I mean, it's great to see, it feels like we're in the Olympics again. Yeah. I mean, it's nice to finally see, an all-star game that actually isn't, fluff and sunshine and rainbows. It's actually, I will hit you, you hit me, instead of, oh, I'm just going to let you get past me.
Yeah.
It's like the time when Sean Taylor laid some guy out and the crowd was just like, oh, God, it's a Pro Bowl. We just killed a man.
Yeah, and I think it's really exciting to see, the hits go up. It's going up about 50%, 66 hits, overall in this tournament, comparative to 44 hits.
Those 66 hits were in that U.S.-Canada game alone.
Yeah. Oh, God, that was crazy. The physicality of that game, nevertheless, was, I think, a big thing for the United States. They know how to play physical. They're a bunch of big guys, and they're rowdy.
I mean, let's hope the Kachuk brothers cause a little mayhem and be like, hey, you guys want to fight each other again?
Yeah, that I think was very comical.
Most of you guys don't know, the first 3 seconds of the game, there was 3 fights. 2 of which were 2 teammates that planned this ahead of time and said, hey, you want to fight my brother?
Yeah,
and the guy's like, sure, let's do it.
I thought
9 seconds in,
hilarious.
They have the little fight, and then you just see little brother skating to the ice with his older brother already in the bench, just dying of laughter.
Yeah, I mean and they were good fights too. They weren't just play fights. You saw 2 guys really go at it.
Oh, it was wonderful.
I thought it was really cool to see. One of my things is that what is a key thing that you need to see out of the United States tonight in order to get this win?
It's going to be a little bit of a roast, but the Wings need the same thing. Special teams. Special teams. Yeah. You guys need to control the puck when up a man. Because if you don't, Canada has the team, not their goalie, so to speak, but the team to kill a power play at any point.
They really do. And I think special teams needs to be a priority tonight. I think if you can get up on Canada, take advantage of it, and especially you do not want to take penalties tonight because they have some killers of players on that team and some snipers as well. I mean, they're exciting to watch. I just think the United States, with the physicality, with the goalie and Connor Hellebuyck,
Michigan Pro
takes home. Yeah, I mean, it's good to see that America is getting to that point where, you can throw up a Connor McDavid, you can throw up a Mitch Marner, you can throw up a Sidney Crosby, and these guys really don't have an effect on a guy like Connor Hellebuyck, which is awesome to see. I think this cements a new era for the NHL, and that being the United States is probably the pinnacle of hockey right now. As I said earlier, I think with a win tonight and a dominant win at that, we're really going to, hammer home the effect of it. What are your thoughts? Do you think
it's going to show, a lot of kids up in Canada grow up idolizing hockey.
Yeah.
So I think it's just going to usher a wave of just that America it's not just a pipeline for certain players. I mean, both of us are wearing jerseys from amazing American brand.
I have a Dylan Larkin jersey on. He has a
Captain America himself.
Yeah, Captain America Austin Matthews.
But I'll say this. I mean, Canada is still, needless to say, Canada is still the home of hockey, and it always will be. I think with the win with the United States, I think it's just more of a spark to just show that, hey, Canada's not the only country that produces top talent. in the NHL.
And that's very refreshing for a country to do that. I mean, you've seen kind of the trajectory. There was a TikTok yesterday saying most of the players come from the NBA and NFL or from the United States, and it's refreshing to see Finland, Sweden, and even Canada kind of compete with us. One of my things is that I think this is like, the Canadians and United States have faced off. This is the first time in 15 years for a final game in a tournament like this. Now, going back in time here, what is your top United States moment of all time in a tournament like this? Whether that's
international player, right?
International player, we're talking. Yes,
I would say it is still a miracle. I mean, you can't put. I mean, there's nothing quantifying that as anything more. I mean, it was during a time of. It wasn't just a hockey game.
Yeah.
It was also very political.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get political here.
The red wave.
But exactly. It was symbolic to, like you said, defeat the red wave. It wasn't just like the U.S. beating a hockey team. It was the U.S. showing that they're the superior nation at the time. I mean, it's kind of like the movie Rocky. It's a great movie. It's a great sports movie.
Yeah.
But it's very, very politically charged.
Yeah. And I mean, one of the things that I look at for a team like the United States is their goalies. Like you said there, one of the greatest, I believe, hockey goalies of all time, Jim Craig. Obviously, he doesn't get enough credit here because I actually did some research because they're comparing Connor Hellebuyck to the likes of Ryan Miller for the United States, Mike Richard, Tim Thomas, Jonathan Quick. They're putting him up there with the greats. And I was surprised to see that a guy like Jim Craig isn't in that conversation, but when you talk about international play, you talk about the United States, you have to bring up
when you think
players.
International play, though, for hockey, you do think Jim Craig. That's the thing.
Yeah.
When you talk NHL, Jim Craig is just overshadowed because there's just been so many good goalies in the league that aren't American. I mean, you look at the top 5 goalies of all time, all 5 of them are Canadian. I mean, and then obviously number 6 is, I think, Swede or Finn, if I'm not mistaken. But even still, you got the top 5 are all Canadian.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that, like, we talk about this game, the history of it, the tradition. I think this year in the NHL playoffs is going to be historic. We have a great race, especially in the Eastern Conference. Everyone says you're saying it's solidifying. I could see that too.
Well, let's just hope this. Fine, if the United States wins this 4-nation thing, then Canada deserves to win the Stanley Cup then.
So who do you think is coming to win the Stanley Cup then, out of the Western Conference right now? Because
it's not coming out West. It's not coming out West.
So you don't think Winnipeg or Edmonton has a chance?
Edmonton has a chance, but to your point of Winnipeg also was damn good last year.
Yeah,
and folded like a lawn.
What are you on, dude? But I think Winnipeg they have Connor Hellebuyck as the goalie.
Yes, but let me finish.
Okay, go.
They had Connor Hellebuyck last year, but they folded like a lawn chair to a team that should have not even made the playoffs.
But you look at his play right now.
I know, but I worry
He's playing
Winnipeg.
on his head, dude.
Right, but I worry about Winnipeg because of their playoff success is very limited.
Yeah.
He could play out of his mind, but if you don't have the team around him to succeed, you're screwed.
Yeah,
he won the Vezina last year, and they folded and got swept. That's the thing. I love to say Winnipeg could, but the thing is, if they have an unlucky draw, they're getting folded like a lawn chair.
And I mean, you talk about like one of those things that like, I see what you're saying. I really do. But I think the way that Connor Hellebuyck is playing right now, with the best players in the world, out of all 4 nations that are playing, I really do think we do have a chance here of really going crazy as far as Winnipeg and their ceiling. They've had momentum all year. They only lost 14 games. I mean, why not Winnipeg? Why not?
I would love to see it, but I just worry based on their history in the playoffs. Their history in the playoffs is never making it past the second round.
Yeah,
it concerns me that even with that, they've had glory years back when we were younger that literally just folded and they lost to teams they shouldn't. I mean, last year they lost to the Nashville Predators.
Yeah.
Nashville right now is literally bottom 5 currently in the league right now.
Yeah.
And they have Steven Stamkos. So, I mean, here's the thing. I love you, Winnipeg, but your track record ain't glorious. Edmonton's your best chance out west, if I'm being honest.
Okay. So we've kind of established that you like the Edmonton Oilers.
At least for the West.
Okay.
At least out west.
Okay.
We know my stance on the East.
Yeah.
We know my stance on the East.
Okay, so let's talk about the East, more specific, the Atlantic. Or the
I would just say the East in general. The East, I know I said it was set in stone last week. It's already changed. I mean,
yeah.
It took a week. It only took a week.
Yeah, I mean, one of my things is that Toronto has a big matchup coming into this week. Later in the subsequent week, they have to play a Metropolitan team that is also in the second spot in that respected division. The Carolina Hurricanes.
You, Sheldon Keith.
So what are your keys for Toronto in that matchup later this week? It's the first game out of the quote-unquote All-Star break. What are your keys?
Can it be logical or illogical?
I don't care. Go for it.
Murder Sheldon Keith. He's a traitor, he's a horrible person, and he deserves to die in the hell.
Okay, that's a little bit aggressive. Okay.
He's our old coach.
Yeah.
I hate the man.
I fully agree.
The man literally never got us past the second round.
Yeah.
I hate him.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, though, we need this game. This is a huge momentum swing. If we want to beat and take care of Florida and take the top spot, we need this game. I know they're in the Metro, but I mean, you still need this game more than ever.
Yeah, and that's one of my things as well, is that these games going out of the All-Star break are key. You know, Detroit's got a Minnesota team that is on a prowl right now. They are 33-19.
Is Kaprizov back from injury?
I do not believe so, but it is at LCA.
That is a good sign, at least.
Yes.
The Excel Center ain't that better, but I mean...
Yeah, I mean, you look at like a squad like Detroit, you know, you got some guys on IR right now, Patrick Kane on IR, Jay Comper on IR. They're supposed to return on the 20th, so that's today. So you're getting some guys back. You know, Kane's been out a little bit. You got Mott, who's day-to-day, Rasmussen, who's day-to-day, and Tarasenko as well. You got Lucas Raymond, who has been playing hockey currently, which is awesome, and he's playing very well. You got a Dylan Larkin, who's on a hot streak as far as the international play goes. How key do you think those guys playing throughout this break will be for their momentum going into the rest of the season?
I think only time will tell. I mean, I think it'd be great. It'd be awesome to see if it's a momentum swing, but I also worry if the guys are gassed and gashed, I mean, it also might show that, like, they're tired and it might be a little slow moving, which obviously could be detriment to the Wings.
Most definitely. I think that the Wings need to keep getting hot and keep getting hotter as
that
the season goes.
Wheel needs to keep turning.
You're saying the right things, man. But one of my things and my feelings is that the goalie play is going to hurt us long term. Alex Line is not a solution. I would keep Talbot in or bring up Kuso. I think that's a valid argument. You could bring him up towards the end of the season, put him in some games, get him functional as far as the NHL. But we were talking about this on the earlier show that he's not the future. We got the future coming up in a goalie in Michigan State. But you
have a young future if you're Detroit. I mean, Lyon and Talbot aren't the answers, but you have the future that's coming up. So I mean, yeah, it might suck this year, it might haunt you, might hurt you, but you have a bright future.
Exactly, but I want to win now. I'm tired of not making the playoffs. It's one of those things that I'm getting. I was saying it early on. I'm fucking sick and tired of this Eisner plan. Let's make it happen. It's been 6 years. Let's go. It's time to deliver.
It's been 6 years, jeez.
Yeah, it's been a while since Eisman's had a winning team at all. But speaking of winning teams, just the legend of a coach in Tom Izzo.
He's the GOAT. And there's no debate.
Okay.
Sorry, okay. Coach K, move over.
You think it's top, even though he hasn't won as many as national championships as Coach K?
I mean, the fact that he's still going right now and beat Bob Knight's record. I mean, the dude does not produce bad teams. The dude has made the tourney 24 straight years. You don't see that in active coaches.
That's crazy. That's unbelievable.
And the dude's been coaching since before you and I were in diapers.
Yeah, I mean, his tenure has gone way back. He's been successful. He's a legend of the game. I agree with you there. Maybe not as far as Coach K, but he's got, I probably think, one of the most, season-defining games coming up this Friday night. Yeah, this weekend in sports is going to be fun, folks. Last weekend kind of sucked with the lull with football, but the talk was still fun. We have a very good opportunity, Michigan does at least, to secure the Big Ten. I agree with Pat.
Happening in the slightest of chance, if I have anything to say about that.
Oh, okay, so you think the team play of Michigan State is going to drown out guys like Wolf, guys like Golden, and you think like a guy like Dickerson couldn't, have the shots that he has, or
Dickerson got screwed by the Mormons, I'm being honest. But needless to say, it's going to be a block party. It's going to be a block party, and it's going to be fun.
So you don't think the lack of height on Michigan State is going to affect, you're playing against 7-footers here who can move the ball, and you're pretty good at passing. I mean, Michigan's on a roll. They did not beat Purdue like you guys did a couple nights ago. But I look at that Purdue game. That gives a lot of confidence for a Michigan team. They go 1-1 in the season with Purdue. I think this game is going to be a big win. If Michigan wins, a big confidence booster. Even so, I think whoever wins this can go on to the Sweet 16 and have that confidence to do that. I think this is a big. I think if Michigan State wins this game and they win subsequently in the Breslin Center, I think they go on to the Final Four. I think if they split it 1-1, I think either team goes on to the Sweet 16 or maybe Elite 8, argumentatively. But I think this is a huge game. I think it comes down to who can play more physical, and Michigan has known to be that team as it goes along. But their turnovers is what scares me. What do you think out of Michigan State? What do you want to see from them?
I mean, both teams are very evenly matched. If you look at the stats for both teams are very, they're night and day, very evenly matched. The one difference is Michigan State defensively knows how to clamp down. Yeah. I worry if you are Michigan, if you guys get to a close game and Michigan State's in control, will you falter?
And that's the question. It's one of those things that Michigan, they have been tested by Purdue, but that's pretty much their only test. This is as I said, season-defining, because if either team can do that. Because I've seen Michigan have a fist fight, a heavyweight matchup, and get blown out. I've seen them have a heavyweight fight and keep fighting. I think it comes down to it's the rivalry. I think this is the biggest rivalry matchup in a while that both teams have had.
I'm just surprised that they're giving Michigan so much credit. I mean, yeah, I get it. It's in Chrysler, but Chrysler's no special building.
I think it's different when it's Michigan State. And
I agree, but still, it's Chrysler ain't a special building.
I think there's been some really cool moments at Chrysler.
The timeout. The timeout was a great moment.
You know what? We still had the greatest amount of freshmen. That regardless of Chris Webber's mistakes. I think
we love you, Chris, but damn.
That was unlucky. It happens to anyone. You're playing it's an emotional game, especially versus a squad. So that's why I think whoever can keep their emotions in check can be that team, and that's where I think even Tom Izzo has that X factor. The matchup predictor right now is a 56% Michigan to a 43% Michigan State.
They're not giving him any.
No, they're not. And one of my things is that early in the season when they were kind of playing, the crappier teams close, Michigan at least, I thought this game would have been a blowout towards Michigan State.
Michigan State just doesn't blow out teams, though. And that's the thing. Neither team will blow teams out. And the thing is, with all your big men, can you out-rebound us? That's all I need to know.
I think we can. But it's so funny because you look at the team stats. What you got here is you got a Michigan team shooting at a 49% and Michigan State out-rebounding them almost by 1.5 points here. Assists, you got
and they're
Michigan
the smaller
State,
team. That's the thing. If you're the smaller team and you're still out-rebounding teams that have 7-footers, it's like even with the loss to Indiana last week, Michigan State still out-rebounded Indiana.
But one of my things is this. When you look at a Michigan State, one of the things they do is they hammer the paint offensively, okay? Michigan outscores them by 79 for Michigan State into an 81 points per game. One of my things here is you look at the field goal percentage of 49%, almost 50% on the season versus a Michigan 47. I know we're talking, digits and almost missed baskets, but I think what's going to come down to is Michigan State's lack of height, but their athleticism will lead them on the boards. But when you have to deal with height on the offense and defensive end, I think Michigan takes this home on the boards because if they play physical, they know they can wear a smaller team out that plays a team game. They can get them confused. They can get them frustrated. That's where I think the expertise of Tom Izzo is that X factor for that Michigan State squad.
With that height, though, you guys got to stay out of foul trouble then.
Yeah, and that's...
You gotta have your trees stay out of trouble, because if your trees get in foul trouble, they're getting cut down.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I look for in this Michigan squad, and hopefully Golden...
Is he prone to foul trouble?
No, he's relatively a gentle giant when it comes to it. He's actually a really good shooter as well. He scores about 15 points per game, 6.2 rebounds, 1 assist, and tied for 6th right now overall with a 64% field goal percentage. So yeah, I mean, he's
a lot of twos or a lot of threes.
A lot of twos, probably.
I was gonna say the 60%. I mean, if you're shooting 60% from the field, you're probably just standing in the basket and be like, "Give me ball."
Yeah, and
give me ball. Give me ball.
That's how Michigan does it, and I think it's one of the good things about that squad. This will be an interesting game. Now, we move on to some other great games around the NCAA.
Bama can't win a game.
Yeah, that was shocking. Shocking.
Which one, though? There was two.
The Auburn loss made sense to me.
I mean, it's awesome to see two teams, especially the Iron Bowl, no less, play in such a crazy high environment. I mean, that was a great game. Last night, boy.
And you talk about those two games in tandem, back to back, losing to Missouri.
They dropped out of the top 25.
Yeah, and that's going to kill them. I mean, but you get a second chance at Auburn in the last game of the season, similar to a Michigan situation with the two teams being rivals. But one of my things, I look at this as a very big upset for an Alabama team that kind of wanted to be in that conversation. They weren't in the conversation this year in football. I don't think they're going to... Maybe they can get back into the top 25.
Their offense is great, but we've seen it time and time again. They can't keep up. If a team's going to hold it to them, it's not happening.
And that's one of the things that I look at as like, all right, this is what needs to happen, and it's not happening for them. But... you talk about an Auburn team. I don't think they're actually the number one team in the nation. I think it's a Florida squad that has the prowess.
I honestly think you're right there, but at the same time, this Auburn team is very well-rounded team. I mean, the team isn't just one-dimensional by any means. Not saying every team is one-dimensional by any means. But this team is something that it's crazy. They're all a bunch of seniors from different schools.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at how that team is rounded out. Another team that kind of faltered also last week was, Texas A&M versus Mississippi State. They lost, in a blowout, 70-54. I think it came down to their lack of being able to score field goals. They shot a miserable 35.8% comparative to Mississippi State here.
If we're talking horrible games, I mean, did you see Kansas?
Yeah, I mean...
The Mormons said, goodbye.
Yeah.
And like that, I mean, that was arguably, I was reading it the other day, the worst loss Kansas has ever suffered in men's basketball history.
Yeah, and I think it's a new era. I think there's going to be some teams now that we don't have the Dukes and the Kansases of old.
Duke's still really good, though. We can't count them out there, but this Kansas team just, I mean... Your boy Hunter Dickinson looked lost.
I mean, I'm thankful for him.
Get that man on map.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't, if you're playing BYU where you're a 12-point favorite, it's inexcusable losing by 15.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I kind of look at this as just one of those things that this tournament is going to be crazy. We'll be covering more March Madness and throwing it at you as the games come along. I mean, soon we'll be drowning in basketball here. But one of the things I'm excited for March Madness, man. I'll be in the Bahamas for a week watching it on the Sportsbook there, so we won't be coming at you that week. That'd be the middle of March there, but that'd be fun. I'm probably going to do some podcasting from the Bahamas, bring some of my mics along, and talk about some basketball in the Sportsbook there. One of the things that, you talk about drama in the offseason for a team like the Detroit Lions, and you want to talk about adding talent and getting to that next level and becoming a championship team. We're witnessing championship teams all around us. Michigan, arguably Michigan State. You look at a United States team. Our country is about to win the induction of the Four Nations tournament. I hope they bring this back, and I hope they bring more teams into the fold like Russia. That'd be exciting. But nevertheless, you want to talk about the Detroit Lions. I want to talk about the Detroit Lions and their offseason drama because right now, I was saying we didn't need Myles Garrett People are saying we do. The Lions are giving up a plethora of draft picks, including a number 28 overall pick, 2 second-round picks, I think a third-round pick. That's in the recent mock draft. That trade would allow, a Cleveland team to get some more collateral for Myles Garrett. What do you think of that trade? Do you think it will go through if it happens? And
I think there's a sneaky team that we don't want to say, but might actually pick up the disgruntled star.
Okay. Who do you think that disgruntled team is?
They just won the Super Bowl, buddy.
So you think they're
They take all of those disgruntled scars and turn them into their friends.
Who are they trading? Who are they trading right now for Myles Garrett? I mean, they have a padded offense. They have a padded defense. I don't think they need an edge rusher, Myles Garrett.
Well, they don't need him.
Yeah,
but they can.
Who are they trading? They have the last pick in every round because of what has occurred with them winning the Super Bowl. What are they giving up? They have to give up something. Detroit has.
They also have expiring contracts. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, but if you're, who are they giving up? Give me a name.
They could give up some first and still be okay. I know Cleveland might not budge.
I don't think Cleveland's budging on that, man. I mean, that's a dumbass fucking trade. Why would you do that? You have one of the best edge rushers. You can play pick me. I feel like Detroit has a viable thing. I don't think they're even in the conversation.
Because I think Myles Garrett's going to basically tell Cleveland, give me the finger, and he's going to say, cut me. And he's going to be like, I want to choose where I go.
Okay, so you think he's going that route?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's going to be like, cut me, and then goes to Philly, and we create the perfect dynasty.
I don't think that's happening. I don't think
the city of brotherly love needs a man named.
I don't think that. I think they have what they got, and I think they're going to do very well with it. I think Detroit is going to get him on the route that they're not going to cut him. He's not going to be doing that because I think it's too much money for Cleveland to give up for Myles Garrett in that situation.
Cleveland's also no stranger to spend lucrative contracts on players that don't work out too well and don't have.
But Myles Garrett has worked out. So why wouldn't you get tick for tat and give me some,
Right, but the last player they signed for a mega deal or whatnot didn't really have a happy ending, if you know where I'm going with this. Deshaun Watson was probably the worst decision they ever made.
Yeah, I agree, and they're probably going to be recycling him this year. So why not trade to Detroit, get some more first-round picks, and maybe get, some depth in your second round and pad that, and then really prepare for next season to be the team that's going to get that quarterback. One of my things is like, if you're Detroit, how much are you willing to give up for Myles Garrett? Right?
That's the issue, though, because a lot of mock trades also, yes, you were saying the 28th overall pick and the other assets. A lot of people are saying Gibbs. A lot of people are saying JMO. A lot of people are saying the assets that we don't want to trade. And that's the thing. If you're the Lions, I mean, yeah, it's awesome. It would be awesome to have him, but we probably have to give up more than we were willing to give up.
And that's a scary part, and I don't want to do that. Now, we talked about the Eagles, and we talked about the prospect of, Detroit acquiring Myles Garrett. You think he's going to the Eagles on
I would
cut?
love to see that.
I mean, that would solidify the dynasty that we were imagining.
It would be quite fun. It would be the most unironically fun thing on planet Earth.
I mean, I do think that the Lions winning the Super Bowl would be ironically a great time, but you seem to be on the Eagles bandwagon over there.
Anyone but the Chiefs is all I want in life.
Dude, you see him over there, you got Cooper DeJean, you're over there going oh my god, you're glazing Cooper DeJean and Jalen Hurts.
You don't see many good white cornerbacks in the league.
You're the Chris Collinsworth. You're the problem with this world. You just jump on bandwagons. I'm sure when Patrick Mahomes was starting off, you were doing that too.
I despise Mahomes. I've never been ever a Chiefs fan, and you can ask anyone this.
Okay, you're just glazing the Eagles up.
Mahomes just bugs the shit out of me.
Okay. Well, speaking of the Eagles and this dynasty, right now their starting center is going down with an injury. He has some nerves he has to deal with. Dr. Watkins is alleviating some nerve pain in the starting center, who's going into the last year of his rookie contract.
Not Cam Jurgens.
Yeah, Cam Jurgens, everyone. That's sad for the Super Bowl winning center here. But my thing with that is we saw an issue with the tush push with a defensive player for the Chiefs.
The brotherly shove is okay. It's not illegal.
I don't think
they need to not call it the tush push. They need to call it
the brotherly shove, whatever it's called.
It's
in
beautiful.
your mind. I think it should be outlawed.
Still?
Yes.
Why?
Because you look at guys like Chris Jones getting worked on, massaged during the game because his neck is going every which way but straight. You've seen Jason Kelsey complain about that, folks. I think that's that's one of the reasons his neck was killing him at the end of his career. And that's one of the things that I look at here, folks, is like this play, while effective, is going to end up with a lot more centers, a lot more defensive linemen getting hurt, and that's what the game does not need right now. We don't need more players hurt. We've seen it with Detroit. We've seen it with some other squads around the NFL. I think it should be frowned upon to do on every 4th and 1 situation you got. I understand pulling it out in key situations in games, but I don't think you should be throwing it out there because you get your star center, your future of your offensive line hurt, and that's an issue.
Then what would you propose?
Run the read option. Run anything.
But not every quarterback's mobile enough to run a read option.
Yeah, but I just think it's gonna. If we will continue to see this play happen, I guarantee you continuously see neck injuries. I don't care how good those strength trainers are at strengthening these big boys' necks. I think it's gonna be a big issue.
I mean, yes, to your read option point. I mean, it's not a bad play, but like, what if the quarterback can't move? Like, imagine you're Tom Brady going la 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 read option and just gets smacked.
Don't tread on Tom, man.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Have you ever seen him on skates? I mean, he's basically like a gazelle.
Oh, I know. Or you mean Giselle?
Or oh god, I meant like a baby deer gazelle, but yeah.
No. I was gonna say a baby Giselle.
Oh god, yeah, falling everywhere.
The
Anyway.
one ring that Tom Brady never could get, the elusive ring.
Hey, I mean, you got 7 of them.
He didn't get 8. He missed one. He missed the ultimate one.
I would agree. That is very sentimental of you there, Evan. But, we talk about, you think it should stay in the game?
I mean, until they find a way to make it, until it turns unsafe, which I know you're saying it's still unsafe right now.
It's starting to.
But that's only because guys are trying to go down and for their head. I mean, the tush push, if you look at how the Eagles do it, he's not going into the ground. He's going above, kind of like the Superman that Cam Newton did, and it's above. So if you pull Troy Polamalu and jump through the air, so to speak, I know that's crazy to say, but if you go for a more overhead tackle, it's how you stop it. That's all it is. You just jump the line, and more often than not, you don't have to have someone push into the line to stop it. You just have a middle linebacker come over the top. We see that with what the Chiefs did with stopping Josh Allen with it. It was over the line, and it worked.
Yeah, but to my
athletic linebackers are coming in the league now.
My play, you should always hit with the hardest part of your body, which is your head. No, I'm kidding.
That's not the hardest part of your body.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, it's the crown of the helmet. I mean, it's a joke, but
of course it's a joke.
Concussions, but you want to hear a bigger joke, man? And I thought it was so funny. So, the NBA All-Star break is here, folks. It's wrapping up. The NHL All-Star break is wrapping up. And then you get a PK Subban on national television, on TNT of all things, saying that basically, what the hell are NBA players playing for? There's no passion in their game. That's why there's fights in hockey, because there's passion. You got to play this game.
The last time basketball was actually relevant was before him and I were even born.
I mean, I wouldn't go as far as that. I think the beginning years of LeBron, when he went back to Cleveland and when he was with Miami, I thought those were good years of basketball.
There was still LeBron being like, oh my gosh, I got touched.
I would agree there, but I think,
the last good year of basketball was 2001, let's be real.
Okay, fair. I mean, that's your thing, though. One of my things is that, you talk about a crazy NBA that, you get the Luka Doncic trade, you get drama there. I think the NBA is more drama, and it's turning into...
Keeping up with the Kardashians.
That, and it's turning into soccer in a way. These guys are either playing injured or playing hurt and saying they're injured, or...
That's what I'm saying. The last time physical basketball was played was 2001.
Yes.
With AI and all of that. Like, I mean, we were one, whatever.
Yeah.
But during our parents' time.
Yeah.
Like, that's what basketball should be. It's not like Keeping Up with the Kardashians or all those, like, just reality TV shows.
Yeah.
If we're going to just do that, let's not call it sports at that point. We'll just be reality TV.
And it's interesting that you bring that up because, like, reality TV, it's fluctuating nowadays. Same with the NBA. Viewership is down 5%.
The All-Star Game was the second lowest viewership rating of all time.
Wow, That's crazy.
And that's your professional athletes, folks.
Yeah. And I mean, one of the things...
World athletes.
Yeah. And one of my things is you got like a Victor Wembanyama.
Just say Wemby.
Victor Wemby. I'm not going to pronounce his
Or just
last
say Wemby. Everyone knows who Wemby is.
All right, we got Victor Wemby going down there for the Spurs. He was playing hard. He was one of the only people that really gave a shit about, giving up a breakaway, no context dunk to Jason Tatum for the win for that team. But it's interesting, he goes down with these blood spurs.
Prayers up for the man. I mean, the kid's only 20 years old, and I mean, his size. I mean, he is a big guy. I mean, let's just hope. I mean, big guys have big injuries, and I don't want it to be the next big guy to have a career-ending injury.
Yeah,
We've seen that too much in the league these days.
We have. One of my questions, and I think, learning from this All-Star break is going to be a good thing for Eric Spoelstra. Not Spoelstra, the commissioner of the NBA. If you're sitting in the commissioner's chair right now, what are you doing about your product? How are you improving? How do you make guys care
Relive
about
the
this?
90s, please.
So
it will actually make me want to watch the game.
Cause rivalries, cause fights, cause hectic. Just
take the reality TV show out of the game. I mean, the Luka trade makes the league even more unwatchable.
Yeah, I agree.
It would never happen back in the 90s.
Yeah.
There was a reason the Chris Paul trade to Miami got vetoed back in the day. Because they didn't want it to turn into freaking drama.
And I think that's very smart of the league to do. I don't understand why they accepted the trade from Luka to LA and Anthony Davis subsequently.
Both aren't playing, so...
Yeah. In hindsight, it's just whatever, but...
It solidifies why the NBA is just broken.
And
I mean,
you
look at it. The NBA was actually... I mean, I wasn't alive then, but I've seen highlights and highlights. The NBA looked actually watchable back in the day. Back when MJ was playing, when Tim Duncan was playing.
And one of my things is that the NBA needs to establish why you should give a shit if you're a fan. And one of the reasons why I still watch it is because my Detroit Pistons are right now 6th in their own conference and looking to make a playoff push. I think they can do it. I think they can go deep into it. And I like the way that Cade Cunningham, despite all the disgust that the entertainment of the game was bad, I think Cade played really good in the All-Star game. And I think he's a promising young star. Maybe he can reinstill this why I should care about basketball into the NBA. Hopefully he can do it.
One can only hope.
One can only hope here, folks. And one can only hope that the United States wins tonight. Tune in. I mean, obviously this will be post, but let us know your thoughts in the description below on everything from this past, our takes, our...
Just a little short show this week.
Yeah, a little short show. We got 47 minutes, about 10 minutes less than we usually do, but we want to thank you for all tuning in, and a reminder for all of you out there to, if you're if you're looking to work out and get gains or whatever your goal is, go check out the NutriTrack app. It's your one-stop shop for all your supplements and all of your protein needs as well. Go to NutriTrack.app and go online because it's a great tool. We want to thank you for tuning in, and go United States, go Michigan, and go Pistons.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.